The bamboo blight invading British homes. We'll be looking at the damage the plant can cause and what you can do to stop it.
Matt was giving us the weather a short time ago, and all that rain has been good, at least for the garden, hasn't it? Lots of gardens in full bloom at the moment. But not every plant is welcome. We've been invaded here.
Yeah, we have, by bamboo. Now, it was a trendy addition to UK gardens about 20 years ago, but it's now causing huge damage to homes and buildings as it matures and runs wild.
Yeah, our correspondent Sophie Long has been looking into what some are calling the new Japanese knotweed.
If you want an example of just how determined and damaging bamboo can be, look no further. This shot up inside a home in Hampshire. Further inspection revealed what lay beneath. A tangled mess of running bamboo had taken over the entire area under the ground floor, resulting in repairs costing more than £100,000. And the bamboo wasn't even planted in their garden, but their neighbours'.
Yeah, so if you come and look through here, you can see that the bamboo has completely taken over. And you can see nothing else is growing in there at all.
Emily helps others prevent such devastating consequences and keep things under control. This now towering bamboo forest started as a few pot plants. Now it's pushing through the fence, burrowing under the patio and decking before emerging and totally taking over the garden next door.
When people plant invasive bamboos, this is usually what happens. They don't realise that that's what's going to happen, but quite quickly they fall into the trap of not maintaining that bamboo, and then it's gone before they've even realised. The bamboo shoots actually push up with a huge amount of force, so although the decking is old, it's come all the way through the membrane, and you can see beneath the decking all of those runners travelling along, so the decking really didn't stand a chance.
Invasive plant experts like Emily have seen a massive increase in call-outs over the last few years as the plants that soared in popularity 2 decades ago reach maturity and wreak havoc, wiping the smiles from those who once enjoyed their outdoor spaces.
So what needs to happen in order to make this usable as a garden again?
Yeah, so essentially all of the decking and patio would need to be removed and taken away, and then all of the runners can then be traced through the ground, excavated, taken away, and then in order to stop the encroachment from occurring again into what's now being cleaned, we'd need to dig in a root barrier.
But all that, of course, will cost a considerable amount of money. Money that the tenant who rents this property from a housing association doesn't have.
We've got it all along the wall here.
Next stop for Emily is a privately owned property in another part of Plymouth. Rob and Maria moved here a year ago. As they cut back the overgrown garden, their bamboo was revealed.
So bamboo is split into 2 different growing types, clumping and running. And the running bamboos, if you have an invasive variety, tend to spread far beyond the confines of the original planting area. So whilst people plant it and think it looks good for a short amount of time, they quickly come to realise that it gets into all of the other places that it doesn't want. I mean, here is a prime example of it having taken over other shrubs and outcompeted them essentially.
They've tried to clear it, but it keeps popping up. It looks like it's punctured the pond and is now getting dangerously close to the wall and their neighbour's garden. But having it removed will cost several thousand.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, a proper tools job rather than a sort of pitchfork and a shovel. It's going to be excavators and everything else. So frustrated, but I think we need to do it. It's not going to go away. It's not something you can just sort of ignore in the corner. I don't want it causing further damage to the pond, or the wall, or anything else around there. So, yeah, it's bite the bullet, I'm afraid.
Is there any benefit to a running bamboo?
I couldn't think of one. I would suggest if you have to have bamboo in your garden, if it's really what you want, choose a clumping variety and keep it in a pot.
It may look nice, but you should think twice because it might pop up elsewhere. Sophie Long, BBC News, Plymouth.
Terrifying.
Really
Little shop
scary,
of horrors
yeah.
territory, isn't
the
it?
Cost of putting it right.
Yeah.
It's immense.
Also, imagine having that chat with your neighbour.
Yeah. 100 grand, please.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have been affected by this, we'd love to hear your stories. Maybe see some pictures if you've got some. Do get in touch. You can WhatsApp us the pictures to that long number there, or just zap the QR code and send us. We'd like to, if you've got any tips as well.
It's always the opposite issue in my house. Lots of my plants just die on me. I think I'd prefer that to this.
Maybe some of those people would like your tips for killing plants.
Bamboos are very thirsty, that it could become a problem for you or for your neighbours.
I think I might go to the garden centre and ask for one of those plastic ones that don't grow at all.
Don't do that.
I'm not going to get started on that.
Don't mention that to Dermot, honestly.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed. Great advice.
Don't get him started on plastic
no, that's
lawns.
True. We did lawns
honestly.
before, yeah.
You've been getting in touch, though, this morning with your bamboo nightmares. Shula says, our neighbour had a bamboo whose roots grew under the fence and into our garden. We had to dig up half the lawn and get a saw in to chop the root off.
Yeah, another viewer sent in this picture that we've got for you this morning. Look at this. They say that their garden's under attack from the next-door neighbour's bamboo. The private landlord refuses to do anything about it.
Oh, that would be one of those things that winds you up daily, wouldn't it? Katie from Lancashire says we planted bamboo to create a screen between our house and our neighbouring house when they built a large extension. We didn't realise the invasive nature of the plant, which spread and started to lift the patio flags. It is like a horror film.
It is.
It cost us £7,000 to rectify.
Really? £7 grand? We've heard it's cost some people even more than that. One gardener from Plymouth got in touch to say, I have a client whose garden is now invaded by bamboo into her neighbour's garden. It's affecting the paving that supports the conservatory. I have removed a lot and dug a trench to get to the root. It's very hard work and there's still no guarantee of success.
Gosh, stick with Dermot's top tip to me was a £1 packet of wildflowers that you just chuck into the garden, and they're on their third summer now and they're gorgeous.
I've got another tip. Get a panda.
Yeah.
Yeah? Sorted.
Yeah, it's the logical next step.